welcome back to another video. I hope you're enjoying your last week of September because next week is the first week of Halloween and also the first week of Inktober, and I will be participating this year. I have a fun tradition, at least I think it's fun, of buying a whole new sketchbook every year for my Inktober prompts because I like to make my own prompt list, so I fill the first page with that and then I fill every page afterwards of the Inktober drawings. That way every year I can look back at them and enjoy whatever I was working on that year. So I did the same thing this year and I will show you guys the prompts that I've chosen and you can use mine if you want to. Or at least some of them. I'd love to see what you guys do. So yeah, we'll get into that at the end of this video, and I won't be doing a fashion show, unfortunately, because I'm just in pajamas. But other than that, yeah, the video is gonna be mostly the same. So let's get sketching. So right off the bat, you can see that yes, I did not record the sketching process. I really meant to. I set my camera up and everything. I got the book in frame, I got out my pencils, and I thought I pressed record on my camera, and then apparently I didn't, because after I sketched the entire thing, I looked up to see and stopped the recording and it was never going, so I was super disappointed. But thankfully, because of this, I did record all of the pen and most of the coloring. I think I recorded all of the coloring. The only problem is that, as you will see, the lighting changes a lot. For some reason, I got very direct sunlight into my room for a minute, and instead of stopping because the lighting was super bad, I just kept going because I have no impulse control and there was nothing in my brain saying, oh, you should probably stop because it looks bad. So I'm sorry about that in advance. You'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, this illustration, I don't think I had anything in mind in particular, except for some girl walking towards the beach. And after I started drawing the girl with her, I think I started with the sun hat, but basically after I drew the sun hat, I started drawing the little beach line, and I thought it could very easily fit a couple characters I already have, so I just started drawing them. The girl up front doesn't have a different name, but basically it was Mango. She has very ginger curly hair, so I decided to incorporate that into the drawing, and she's covered in freckles and is very pale, so I also very much incorporated that, and I really like how she turned out. It's super cute. Overall, this whole piece was a fun little learning experience, and even if it didn't turn out exactly how I'd pictured, I was really proud of it, especially her little hand. I was struggling with her hand so hard. The hand looked really great, but it just wouldn't connect to her arm well, so I filled it up with a bunch of bags to kind of like replace it. I also drew a lot more seagulls, but I felt like it was too cluttered, so I got rid of quite a few of them. And I got this new eraser. It's so much fun. My best friend Felicia showed me, well, I have 3 best friends, but my best friend Felicia showed me it, and it's an electric eraser and it's so useful, so I ordered one and I absolutely love it. It's so amazing. It's super helpful, and it definitely takes off the stress of erasing things nicely because I can just get these fine little details, and I definitely recommend it. Oh, also, if you're wondering why the lines aren't perfectly straight, I didn't use a ruler for them because I couldn't find it, so I just sketched them out of my little hands. I don't know. I didn't use anything to help me, so that's why they don't look so nice. I'm sorry if it bothers you. Also, something different that I did this time around, I got into the habit of using really small pens recently, and I was looking through my old notebooks because I was going to do a video about it, but it was really plain and I wanted to do something more fun, so I did this instead. You guys will get one eventually, I promise, but I was looking through one of my old sketchbooks and I realized I used a 0.5 really often, so all the lines are really thick, and I super like the style of it. I like how like kind of cartoony it makes it, so I went back to that, and it's kind of what partially inspired this one. So that's why I use such thick line art, and I really like how it turns out. Let me know what you guys think. So as you can see, we started getting into the color, and normally I would recommend starting from the background and working towards the foreground, but I already knew what her skin color was, so I just kind of started there, and it doesn't really necessarily help when you're working with markers. It's more helpful for painting, but I still do recommend it because you can kind of fill up stuff.
easier. I also accidentally started with a color called sand for the sand, realized it was way too dark, and then decided that the best way to try to make up for it was to sort of like ombre it towards us. I wanted the foreground to be, or the background to be wetter looking, so I thought it might have worked for that, but it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted, but all learning, so I'm fine with it. I also really like that I added a bunch of pink to her skin and it shows up so much because it kind of looks like she's sunburnt and I love it. Also, as you can see, I'm holding 2 pens in my hands and switching off between them. That's because I wanted the very back of the ocean to have like a darker line so it looked like it was further away, and that way it didn't blend too much in with the sky. And normally I actually like when the ocean blends into the sky. I think it creates a really cool effect, but I didn't want to try that in this one because I wasn't sure about it. I also didn't look at any references for like sunlight or the sky or anything, so this part looked really weird at first. Please don't judge. I did not use any reference for any of this stuff. I just started drawing because that's usually what I do. I go back in with my colorless blender to try and pick up some of the color and make the little sun shinies shinier, I guess, and then I go in with a white jelly roll to further the effect of little sun rays coming through the sky. I'm not quite sure how it worked, but I tried my best. And right here, it all of a sudden changed very quickly from normal sunlight to very, very extreme sunlight, and instead of stopping my drawing, I just kept going, and I'm so sorry for that, you guys. I promise I won't try and do that again. Normally I would just stop because the lighting was so weird, but this time around I was just so into the drawing that I didn't even think to do that. I just colored in the little flowers on the hat and her hair, and then I added small little details all over the place, and just basically kept going until the sun stopped doing that. I don't know why I did this because I literally wasn't even sure that the sun would stop. I just decided that it was fine, but it does eventually stop, and I think at some point I did stop the camera because of that and return later, so you'll see the sudden change. And then I went in with some darker colors to try and like shade the hair a little bit. You can see I have a little piece of paper I used off camera, or a little bit on camera, but it's partially off camera now to sort of test the colors with the orange that I had already used for her hair. I don't own a lot of orangey colors, so I was sort of just guessing and hoping it would all work because I pretty much only had like those to work with. But I thought it turned out really nice in the end, and I'm glad that I did it. And Kitten likes to say hi. And right here I'm just going in and cleaning up around the edges a little bit like I like to do, and then adding some shine to the clouds, and basically just adding white wherever I think needs it. And I know I haven't used any of my colored pencils on the channel because I don't usually like to draw with them solely, but I do like adding a little bit of texture at the end of my drawings sometimes with colored pencil. I just usually forget that I even own them, but this time around I really wanted to add them in, so I had them out in the open for me to remember to use them, and I use them to basically add a little bit of texture to the towels in the towel bag, her hair, and also the sand. Oh, and also the hat. And because I use so many colored pencils on the hat, it kind of dulled down the line work, so I'm just going back in over it with my black Micron pen, just to sort of make it pop a little bit more again, because the flowers are some of my favorite parts. And then here I'm just writing beach day at the bottom in some poorly done cursive. And this is me writing down Inktober 2019 for my new Inktober book that I got for this month. This one is actually a really nice brand. I can't exactly remember what it's called because I ripped the tag off and threw it away, but it's the one brand that doesn't bleed through, so you can draw on both sides of the paper with thick markers and stuff, and it won't bleed through to the other side at all. They're absolutely amazing and I definitely recommend them, but they are expensive. I will try and find the name of them and I'll put it up right here when I do.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you had fun sketching along with me, and if you're participating in Inktober and you want to use my prompts, I'll be posting them over on my Instagram at KittyInYourSoup, and if you use any of them, I'd love to see them if you want to tag me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below if you're going to be doing Inktober. I want to know how many of you guys are going to do it with me. I usually love doing it in my own little book that I can look back on every year. It's my favorite thing about the year. Halloween's my favorite month, so I definitely love celebrating it with drawing a bunch. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it all for this video. I'm sorry that I'm not gonna do a fashion show. Again, just in my little pajama hoodie. Not that much to see. I got it sort of recently, so I've been wearing it non-stop. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!